Hari Bol. This is Chetan Gandhi. I'm a practicing company secretary and leadership and life transformation expert. I've done BCom. Along with that, I've done Masters in Law, CS, and Masters in Leadership Science, along with Diploma in Information Technology Laws and few other courses. Today, we'll be understanding about how to study a law subject. Any law, let it be a new law which has been introduced by the government or any other existing act. How to study it and how to start with it. That is what we'll be discussing with. So, first of all, we should understand that all these laws are being introduced by the government, the parliament, okay, and they are in the act form. Now, all these acts are always divided into few chapters. Yes, they are always divided into parts, and these chapters are numbered. Further, these chapters, amongst all these chapters, the first chapter and the last chapter are always same. That is, the first chapter is preliminary and the last chapter is miscellaneous, which doesn't fit anywhere, goes to miscellaneous, and all other chapters with respect to that particular law contain some or the other information about that particular act. And these chapters are further divided into small paragraphs. These paragraphs are numbered and they are known as sections. They are all in serial order. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on and so forth. So now whenever we have to study any law or understand any law, do not directly start reading about that act or do not start reading about whatever articles or whatever modules in your modules, whatever chapters you have, do not directly start reading about them. First of all, download the Barrect. From the Google you will get the Barrect and just take the printout. Yes, take the printout of the index, that is the starting few pages of that particular act. In that index you will have the whole structure of the act, where the names of the chapters will be there and all sections will be there in few pages itself, 1 to 2 pages depending on the size of the act. Today we will be understanding how to study these particular laws and all that with reference to the Companies Act. So I will discuss about the Companies Act, how we should study, how we should read, and accordingly move ahead. Okay. In Companies Act, initially when it was incorporated, when it was introduced, Companies Act 2013, it had 29 chapters. Now they've added one more chapter, that is 21A, with respect to producer companies. So how to understand first the structure of the act, and then how should we go ahead with study of that particular subject. That is what we'll be discussing. Okay, so now let's start with the Companies Act. Now, this I'm showing from the book itself, which I've written on Companies Act. So this is the index of Companies Act, and there are all these different chapters. So chapter 1, chapter 2, and you'll notice that these are all written in Roman form. The numbers of chapters are always in Roman form. And then you can see all these sections are there. Okay. Similarly, when you turn around, you see other chapters, chapter 3, prospectus and allotment of securities. Then you see chapter 4, share capital and debentures, along with all section numbers are there. So we should refer to, first of all, whenever we start with the act, take the printout of this index and see the overall structure of the act, that how many chapters are there. So for example, in Companies Act, we have 29 chapters and one more addition has been done of 21A. So in total we have 30 chapters, but the last chapter is 29th number, 29 chapters. Then what are the names of each chapter? So in case of Companies Act, the first chapter is preliminary and it has only 2 sections, that is short title and definitions. Now one thing we have to understand, section 1 is common in all acts. Yes, that is short title, extent and commencement. That is what is there in section 1. And section 2 also in all acts is similar, that is the definitions. Then chapter 2 comprises of incorporation of companies and matters incidental thereto, and everything related to incorporation is there in this chapter. Further, chapter 3 discusses about prospectus and allotment of securities. So it discusses about public offer and private placement. Then we have chapter 4, share capital and debentures, and everything related to shares and debentures is given in chapter 4. So that way all different chapters have been bifurcated, they have been given some title,
and whatever doesn't fit anywhere, you will find that it goes in miscellaneous. And accordingly, we have all these chapters, different chapter names are there. And after we see these are all different indexes, okay, the index of the same act, and then at the end we find that there is miscellaneous. The 29th chapter is miscellaneous. Okay. Now, what happens is, primarily, when we are studying these laws, why we should keep this direct index ready with us, so that whenever we are reading about that particular subject, for example, if we are studying about auditors, for example, I've just taken this auditors chapter over here. So if we are studying about auditors and any section comes up in the module referring to, for example, section 142, so immediately we can refer to the act and see what is section 142. It discusses about remuneration of auditors. So once we keep on checking the direct section numbers and the title, we will easily be able to remember the section numbers. 1 or 2 times we'll read it, immediately will remember those section numbers. And what is mentioned in section 142? It discusses about the remuneration of auditors, which is fixed in general meeting, and board fix first auditor's remuneration. And after that, after first auditor's remuneration, it is always fixed by the shareholders. Yes. So this is what we also have. We can make brief notes, very small notes we can prepare with respect to different sections. Just few words are sufficient. For example, in section 153, it discusses about application for allotment of directors identification number. So it is with reference to R9, that is rule 9, and main thing, DIR 3. So we should know application for DIN should be made in form DIR 3. That is enough. That way, you should make small brief notes just next to the section numbers, and accordingly it becomes very easy to refer in future all your sections very quickly. We don't have to refer to the modules and other act also in detail. This itself becomes a small barrette. This is how we should study. So whenever we are studying any new law, first see the structure, see how many chapters are there, what are the names of each chapter, and see all different sections. What are the different sections under each chapter? Then you start studying the module from your modules or from the act, whatever it is, and make your brief notes also next to the section headings that we have in small few words itself. This is how we should start any law subject or any act when you want to understand, whether it's a new act or any old act. This is the best way which I have been applying, and becomes very easy for me to remember many sections. In fact, in case of Companies Act, I can remember more than 250 plus sections only because of this method of studies. Okay, that's all. Thank you.